China may have just discovered a mineral on the moon that unlocks unlimited energy, and what they found could be worth upwards of $1.5 quadrillion. So let's dive into exactly what China's moon expedition actually found and whether or not they've solved the world's energy crisis. So China's Chang'e 5 moonlander has returned a moon sample back to Earth. What they found within that sample was a brand new mineral that we haven't discovered before. China has named the new mineral Chang'eite. It's a translucent crystal that's now the 6th unique mineral found on the moon that hasn't been found yet on Earth. Now, China did not find an abundance of Chang'eite within this sample. They only found a single particle of the colorless mineral, kind of similar to how a diamond looks, but it's only 10 microns across. But even though Chang'eite is now classified as one of the rarest minerals to have ever been found, that's not what China found that's worth $1.5 quadrillion. China's Chang'e 5 found helium-3 in a lunar regolith. Now, helium-3 isn't brand new or anything. We've known about it here on Earth since 1939, but we've only found it in incredibly small quantities, and not only that, it is very expensive. Now, to understand what makes helium-3 such a perfect fuel source for nuclear fusion, we need to push up those glasses because it's about to get nerdy. Helium-3 is an isotope of helium. It's unique because it's the only stable isotope of any element that has more protons than neutrons. That's important because in theory, a nuclear reaction of helium-3 and deuterium would produce almost 165 megawatts of power per gram of helium-3. Now, to put that into perspective, all of New York City uses about 11,000 megawatts of power per day. That's every house, every light in Times Square, every subway car, all of it. So to power all of New York City for an entire day, all you need is about 66 grams of helium-3. That's it. And we'd only need 25 tons of helium-3 to power the entire United States for a whole year. And probably the best part, on top of all of that, helium-3, when broken down, doesn't produce radioactive waste, so there's nothing for us to sort of clean up and store and have to deal with. There is an estimated 1.1 million metric tons of helium-3 on the moon. So we're talking about actual, real clean energy on a global scale. So on the positive side, it's incredible that humanity has made. The downside, and I guess a controversial one, is that this discovery was made by China, who doesn't necessarily have the longest history of, let's say, transparency when it comes to the government. China has already said that they not only have a way to extract the helium-3 from the lunar surface, but also have plans on how to retrieve the isotope and transport it back to Earth on a large scale. When the world, understandably, asked how they were going to do that, China did not provide that information, hence that whole transparency issue. Now, a lot of mining has to be done in order to extract just a small amount of helium-3, so whether China has a solution or not for these problems, we have to remember that China doesn't own the moon. Other space agencies can, and likely will, conduct their own mining missions on the moon in an attempt to claim their small part in a 1.5 quadrillion fortune. The execution of this type of nuclear fusion using helium-3 on a large scale is still a ways off, but the new gold rush seems to have begun, except this time, it's on the moon.